Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. If you've been following along, we are, this is where we were at with our JavaScript, and today we're going to take a step back and we're going to actually look at the IDE itself and improving our environment to make things easier for us. So what we want to do is we want to go into and we're look at extensions. So if you click on this link right here, if you hover over it, it says extensions. If you click there, you can see there are a number of things here, and you can search different extensions here. And there's plenty of things to play around with if you want to play around things. But today we're going to, I'm just going to hide that for the moment because we're going to add a couple of extensions, but we're not going to do it that way. Although you can do it that way if you want to do in here and you just type the name of it, you can do that. But we have reasons not to do that. So we're going to start by going to our browser and we're going to search for VSCode extension Prettier. So Prettier is going to be a format, a linter or a formatter, and so this can make your life a lot easier. So if you go to Prettier Code Formatter, the Visual Studio Marketplace is where you want to go. So if I click on here, and you just click install straight from here, and this will actually go into your Visual Studio. I'll say, you want to open Visual Studio Code? Yes, open it, and gives you this option here to click this link to install. So we're going to go ahead and install that. And just like that, you've got this installed. So I can close this. And so now if we go to extensions, we'll see that we have Prettier installed. And the next step for installing Prettier, it's not going to do anything until we add it to settings. So if you click down this gear down here, which is the manage section, and you have this option of settings. So let's go there, and inside of settings we can click. I'm going to actually minimize this by clicking this again. So now when you do that, you can see a bunch of this stuff here. So if there's these are the some of the options. So click on Workbench, and underneath that go to Settings Editor, and we have this option of Edit in Settings, the settings.json. So let's go ahead and click that, and for whatever reason mine's giving me this thing like it wants me to autocomplete, but I don't want that. I don't even know why we have that there, but I don't want that. So this right here is actually an object. This is a JSON object, and as all JavaScript objects do, it has keys and it has values. The first key is Workbench, color theme, Explorer, confirm, delete. These are different keys, and the values are here. So we're going to need to add a key and a value, a couple keys and values. So let's go back to here. This is why I wanted to go into here, because if you scroll down in the website here, it has some explanations, and we want to go to default formatter. So if I increase the size of this like a little bit, you can see here in default formatter, we have this editor.default formatter. Basically, this is saying, if you read this, it basically says, if you want to set it as a default formatter, you just do this. So we want to set it as our default formatter. So I'm going to go into there, and then we go to our, let's go back to our VS Code, and we just put next to any one of these, anywhere, it doesn't matter which order it is, but we just want to paste this between two of these, or at the end, either way. I did it between two of each other because there's always a comma, and if you put it at the end, you have to add a comma here. So I'm a little bit lazy, but it's not really important. You can put it at the end if you want to put a comma in there. And but you don't want to put it somewhere like this. This would be the wrong place to put it because that's not where it goes. It has to be a top level field. So that's going to set our default formatter to this Prettier extension we just added. But there's one more thing we want to add here, because we want this thing to update every time we save. So what we want to do is have it automatically format our stuff when we do save. So if I do editor dot, and then format on save, format on, and if you see format on save popped up, so either select this with your mouse or you can tab down with your arrows and click that, and what that'll do is it'll auto-complete the rest of it out for you. So you want it to do this because it makes your job a little bit easier, because as you can see, false is the thing it auto-completes to, and that's because false is the default setting. So at least I think that's why, or maybe it always sets it to false, but regardless, we want to set this to true. We know that this is, I know that this format on save is set to false on default, but we are going to set this to true. So now whenever we save and reformat, it will automatically space things out. So I just saved and it just reformatted it just right here in this file. Because it's the default formatter for everything as opposed to just for JavaScript, or there's other ways you can do this, but we wanted to set this as the default formatter, period. So if we save that, so now if I close this and I close this, if I go over here and I hit save, it's going to automatically format all of this code. If you saw what just happened there, and if I go over here, say I have this thing spaced out over here, right? If I hit save, it's also going to format that. So now if your HTML doesn't work, we can potentially look at that. That means there's either you don't have the latest version of VSCode, or that there's some configuration settings you can actually set to make it explicitly work with HTML. But I think that generally updating to the latest version of VSCode, the version that I have is 1.85.1. You can see it right there. So that's the version that I have here. So, but that's so basically that's the first thing we wanted to do. That's a plugin that will help you with your spacing. So if you add if you put something in something, like a tag inside of a tag, it will automatically space them out so that the ones that are inside are tabbed in, and makes it a little bit easier to recognize, oh, this head. So if this is tabbed over, it'd be easy to think that, oh, wait, what's going on here? Head is different than body. No, it's actually next to it. So this is one thing, and then this is one thing. And so this HTML has two top level tags, and those contain other tags inside of them. So it'll help with that kind of keeping clear, also help you understand where the black brackets are represented too. One of the things, if you click on the inside of a bracket, it will often highlight the other bracket. So you can do that in the else too. So these are some things that can help you. So the next plugin we're going to add, we can actually do it straight from here. And this is going to be, if we type in this and type Abracadabra, Abracadabra, and not AI, but just Abracadabra, and we can just install this. You can see it's got 69,000, so there's a lot of people have installed it. It's a good plugin that basically helps us do something called automatic refactorings. And so we're going to actually also, you know what, we're not going to do it this way. We could do it this way, but we're not going to. Let's go back here. We are going to actually go over here and search for, again, VSCode extension, and then Abracadabra. And this is Abracadabra, refactor this. Refactoring is very important when you're writing code to help you to be able to understand what's going on. All right, so if I click install on this, open Visual Studio, yes. So now we have it right here, and we can install. And now Abracadabra is installed. And the cool thing about Abracadabra, so we can close this, is that all we need to do now, we can click on things like this function right here. And you can see this arrow, this light bulb that popped up. That light bulb was there before, but now we can easily convert to arrow function, as well as if we go back and we click on that light bulb again, as long as our cursor is inside of these two parameters, it's going to give you different suggestions, so we can convert back to anonymous function. And actually, I think that actually whenever it said convert to this right here is actually the same as the boilerplate functionality of VS Code. But there's other things we can do. So if we click on if and we hit this here, now we can switch this. We have a whole bunch of options that are only the little sparkly things is from Abracadabra. This is convert if else to switch, or which we don't really want to do. But if we flip if else, we can click this, and what that'll do, if you see the if right now status equals success, if we flip if else, its status is not equal to success. It does the opposite. So what was in the else block is now moved up to the if block, and what was in the if block is moved down to the else block. And so that's what flipping if else, because we changed this from being one check to the opposite check. So before it was checking if status equals success, now it's checking that status, this bang before the two equals means not equal to. So it's saying that this does not equal that now. So if I click on this again, and then I do flip if else, we're back to where we were again. So now this is a way of quickly doing refactorings, and if I save, we've just changed it back so that we're style is giving us two spaces. But all right, so if we want to learn, there's some other much more interesting things we can do here. So let's go ahead and look at this. The reason why I went here this time was because we have a few basic refactorings and then a list of available refactorings. And here's the full catalog of refactorings available. This is what we care about. We want to see everything. So let's go here. List of available refactorings. Okay, so now we have some things that are really interesting, some really valuable ones, is extract variable. That's really valuable. And inline function, and is extract function the same as extract? There should be an extract function. Let me do a command F. So if I do a command F here, it pops up a find dialog inside of my browser, and I could say function for inline function and convert to arrow function. Okay, oh, that was it back there. So here it says a symbol is a variable or function name. So basically what we're saying, when we say extract symbol, we're saying that we want to this is actually one of the most important ones, so let me make sure I get this. The rename symbol could be a symbol or a variable, but is extract variable could be a function too? We might be able to do the same thing because it's JavaScript and the variable can be easily set a function to a variable. Yeah, so we have this inline function here, and I was expecting there to be the opposite of that. Inline is the opposite of extract, so it would be to remove the function and all right, but first of all, let's look at the simplest one, which is extract variable. This is a really handy little tool. So the key binding for me on Mac is Option and Command V. On a Windows, it's Control Alt V. So now if I go to here and say I want to extract this string as a variable, I could do Command Option V, and just like that, it's extract that as a variable. So, and I can name it with anything. So it's just we can call it name with the h2 tag just because it's what it defaulted to. But you can name this whatever you want. You could change it to whatever name you want. But basically, this is what this did. I don't know if you saw it, but it created this whole line automatically by taking this string, and then it added the equal sign, it added a name, and it added the const to automatically extract that into a variable, which can be really handy whenever you want to extract a variable. So if I do Command Z, it's back to the way it was before. But that Command Option V is really good. Let me see if I grab this. Can I Command Option M? Nope, that does not do that. That actually minimized Visual Studio. So code view. All right, so if I do this, oops, I have to go to Visual Studio. Window, there it is. There we go. So I found it. I got back there by. So that was not what I was thinking it was going to be. So there's good, but there is a function here. There's a thing that can allow you to actually. Let me just see. Extract function with Abracadabra VSCode. Extract a method with a shortcut in Visual Studio Code. Select the block of code and either click on the light bulb or use. Oh, maybe you could, this is just core Visual Studio Code. Well, let's see if that works. So if I do this, and what is that? Extract to function in global scope. There it is. Okay, this is actually not Abracadabra. This is regular VS Code. That's very cool. All right, that's actually one of the most powerful ones we can do. So it's called new function, but we're going to say add names to HTML. So now we added the names. We're calling a function here that says add names to HTML. So now if we want to inline this, Command Option N, oops, assigned with many statements. Okay. Apparently it doesn't like that. So apparently that's not as easy to inline it. But let me see, if I do this with the light bulb, does it give me an option to inline? No. All right, well I was thinking that it would do that. But okay, so now, so basically that's how you extract a function. If I just do Command Z, I get it back, so it's easy to undo that. But I kind of like it though, actually. I think we might want to keep that. So let's do that. And we actually realized this Pokemon name should be deleted because this is actually not being used anymore. We don't need to return a list of Pokemon names because we're not doing a map, we're doing a for each. So the result that's returning is just null. So if we do this and we highlight this and we do the light bulb and we do extract to function in global scope, that means we put a function next to the onPress. This is new function. So, and we can change the name of this. Oops. Change signature. Allows us to change the, this is actually not what I thought it was going to look like. Different than I thought. So change the signature allows you to change the number of variables or the parameters that you pass in. But we want to actually rename, which I'm not seeing that. There is a rename function. Oh no, there's a rename symbol. So that was in here. Rename symbol. So rename symbol is just F2. So if we use the F2 key, which is at the very top above your numbers on your keyboard, then you can do a rename symbol. So let's go back to our VS Code and use that. So F2 allows us to now change the name of this function to, as well as change a variable. And if I change it down here, it will also change it up here where it's being called. So I'm going to say add names to HTML again. So now, okay, so we've done that. So this is some basic refactorings you can do. There's a lot of other refactorings. Extract function, extract variable are two very, very important ones. And I'll let you guys comb through here and try to just explore in some of these things and try to read and figure out what they are and see if you want to try to use them, and or just try to use them a little bit in the code and just see what you like and what makes things a little bit easier. The whole purpose of this is to make it much easier to write code instead of having to type every single thing, every single space. Now we can do write code a little bit easier. So thanks for watching.